Welcome back to another Let's Play together with Max from HR Innoways. We are looking into the new update, into the mega update. It's still the beta, but yeah. So Max, thanks for having the time.
Hi everyone, thanks to be here.
We will straight go into the train, so we don't have any delay. We are not the Deutsche Bahn.
Yeah, let's see.
At least I'm trying my best that we arrive right on time.
Right, and I try my best to avoid any crashes or something. So I'm
Yeah,
just the advisory driving school teacher in the back.
exactly. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, if you haven't looked into the update yet, it's definitely worth it because you guys basically reworked the whole game, right?
Yeah, actually, we did. We rewrote more than 70% of the game's source code uh, from scratch. So that means most of the systems are entirely new, and equally, they have a lot of new features
Yeah.
and a much, much better performance than before the update.
Yeah, like for example, if I'm not completely mistaken, like this train, right? The DT 5.1, right?
Exactly. The train that we're currently sitting in is actually one of the new units and can be distinguished from the buttons on the left.
Yeah.
So this L, A, and T buttons, these are
I
in a
have to.
different kind of configuration than in the train that we previously had in the game, and they actually have a little bit of different features. And there are some more um, differences between the two variants of the DT5 vehicle,
Mm,
which you will also notice during gameplay, actually.
yeah. Um, don't mind me. I'm always driving a little bit more careful than I have to. So,
That's a good habit.
yeah, I mean, I guess then there will be most likely be a delay at some point. But
We'll see.
I mean, we want to have a safe travel for our passengers, which we don't have yet, but we will have some soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What we're actually seeing during gameplay now is also one of the new features that were brought into the game by the mega update.
Yeah.
So we are actually turning around in a scenario, and it's not the last thing that we have to do in this scenario. So there's a couple of more things to happen, and that actually dramatically improves the gameplay experience because it's not just driving from one stop to the next anymore, but actually there's a lot of other things you can try in the game now.
Yeah. Um, I mean, to be completely open about everything, like I haven't played SubwaySim before the update, so I don't really have like the reference to it. I just have to keep an eye on the speed limit.
Yeah, careful. There's 30 from
Yeah,
here on. Perfect.
yeah. I mean, but yeah, with the update, or I kinda joined the whole Subway Sim or Aerosoft with the update of Subway Sim. Um, I obviously played it in the closed beta already, so I don't have that much of a reference to the before, but I have to say it runs really smooth. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind it's an Unreal Engine 5 title,
yeah,
so obviously with some 10-year-old hardware, you will experience some issues. So please just make sure that your hardware really fulfills the minimum requirements. And if that is the case, then you're good to go. And then it will definitely run,
yeah.
at least with more than acceptable performance.
Let me quickly. I'm speeding. Let me quickly turn on the lights.
Oh, it's actually the light from the passenger
Oh, okay.
section of the
Yeah.
vehicle. So it's just this little bit of light bouncing that is being received
Hmm.
from the interior lights.
Um, One thing, I mean, right now we don't have any passengers, but as soon as we have some passengers, and if I don't have such a big delay, we can actually have a look at some passengers as well, right? Because
Exactly.
because you reworked them as well, right? Or like the whole
Exactly.
passenger system.
Yeah, exactly. So the mesh of the passengers, the characters themselves, they
Yeah,
have not been changed, but the entire logic of their movements, of
yeah,
their behavior, was completely reworked, and it's actually much more dynamic than it has been before the update. So it's really fun.
yeah. I really have to keep an eye on the speed and the signals that I don't like pass through a signal.
Yeah, exactly. That's very important also for real life
Yeah,
railways. You should never pass a red signal. If you do, you're immediately removed from service and set off for at least 1 or 2 weeks. And the incident is kind of there's a specific routine on how to handle the incident afterwards. Careful, there's a red signal in
yeah. I,
280 meters.
I
You
mean,
might want to stop more than that.
okay. I mean, yeah, right. That is pretty new that you reworked the whole braking system, right? As well, or you changed it at least.
Yeah, we did a lot of changes to it. So actually, all of the vehicle physics have
Yeah.
been completely reworked for the mega update.
Mm,
We're using exactly the original power and forces that can be brought up by the DT5 vehicle,
mm,
um, and lots more than that. So it's really as close as one could get to simulating the vehicle without actually having all of the components in place.
yeah. I mean, I saw that. Or, yeah, I saw that you. Let me just go on brakes.
Yeah, but you're doing good.
um. Yeah. Yeah. It was a little bit too much, but yeah. I saw that you just didn't just imagine the whole line, but you actually like worked together with the Hochbahn from Hamburg, right?
Careful, that's a red signal
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
no, it's green.
Oh, yeah, perfect. So actually, as we're running as an empty service, so
Mm.
as a service run, I think that's called in English, without passengers, we have to be careful because there's a passenger train only 2 minutes ahead of us and
Oh,
another one coming 3 minutes behind us. So we're pretty much in the middle. But yeah, what you've mentioned right now. Oh, yeah, that's another red one.
ooh, that will. Oh yeah, yeah. That was.
Wow. That was a tight one.
Right.
Uh,
Hey, there
yeah,
we go.
lucky.
I mean, we made it. Just
Yeah,
barely.
we barely.
Yeah, but
That was a little bit of luck was involved.
yeah,
Yeah, but what you've mentioned, we're actually working closely together with Hamburger Hochbahn, who is the operator of the real life metro network in Hamburg. We
yeah.
received lots of information, and we had the ability or the possibility to make some photos in real life at their site, do some audio recordings, and so on and so on. So it's really nice for us working with them, and
Mm.
it's the thing that enables us to create a metro simulation game with as much depth as this one is.
Yeah. I'm really focused. Like, I don't want to fail the test, and I want to have my driver license after that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the graffiti scenario, as we call it internally, it's the fourth of 6 scenarios with a
Yeah.
total gameplay length of around 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the scenarios are approximately sorted by difficulty. So you're starting with one of the more complex scenarios. But that's also the reason why I'm here, right?
Yeah. Um, just have to keep my eye on the top right corner right now. I guess I can stop here, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Actually, some of our players
Mm.
prefer to use the game without the user interface, and it's
Okay.
actually possible. So I've tried it myself for a couple of runs.
Yeah.
But you really have to be careful without the user interface. So obviously there's a key in the input settings that you can assign,
Mm-hmm.
and from there on the interface will be, or you can hide it by the stroke of a key. But yeah, you have to be immensely careful because there could be red signals everywhere. So you need to know the locations of the signals and so on. By the way, as we're standing here, the passenger train in front of us is leaving at or has left at 47, so it will get green in like 5 or 10 seconds. So that's just part of the scenario. Here we go.
I mean, that is also something I really appreciate about this game, that it's like you're not driving alone on a train track, and well, it's not an empty world. It's actually, it feels alive with the passengers, with the other trains. So you always have to look out for something. And for example,
Moin, die Leitstelle hier. Stell deinen kaputten Zug vor das Betriebswerk und hol dir dann einen neuen Zug vom Betriebshof.
So obviously there's some voiceover with authentic
yeah,
Hamburgish German voices, but of course there's subtitles. We've now reached the first important step of the scenario. We will drop off the first of the 2 DT5 vehicles. So actually the one that we're sitting in, we will detach it and then just leave it in front of the workshop. And yeah, there's actually a lot of AI traffic going on. So if you can see on the left, there's another passenger service. And in total, there are 22 services, I think, running on the entire map along the U3, which are simulated in full detail.
there you go.
Oh, wow. That was quite precise. Nice.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
All right. Steve, and I think we are still on time.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really good. Yeah, so here you can see the train's pretty much damaged. So those vandals really did a mess here.
Yeah.
And we don't want to go into passenger service with a train as damaged as that one.
No.
And now is the magic part. We're actually separating the trains.
I think I have to activate it first, right?
No, actually not. Just move it to the left and yeah, that was it. So you can actually see the train in front of us now has activated the red tail lights. That means it's kind of no longer coupled to us.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't really have the time to look at the graffiti, for example.
True.
Because we have to stay on time. Because people want to get to work, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all of these scenarios are designed in a way to avoid waiting times for the player.
Yeah.
And preferably, we try to delay the AI vehicles rather than the player vehicle. Oh, that's a minor bug. We're looking into that right now.
Oh,
So the game's at the time of this recording still a beta.
yeah, of course.
Public beta, but still beta. And that's one of the issues that will get fixed soon. Yeah, and now we can continue. So just make sure, yeah, really, a lot of throttle here, so we can actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's
go, yeah. Up the
yeah, and it's a steep inclination there. That's why you need it. Nice. So we're now going back to the platform where we will make another turnaround, and after that we will move to the depot, and from the depot we'll fetch another vehicle. By the way, if you switch to exterior perspective, maybe.
Yeah.
That's yeah, exactly. And you can also see it's a pretty short train now with just one unit and not 2 of them.
But sadly, we already have a delay.
But that's fine. It's 1.5 minutes is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we need to couple later on anyways.
Yeah.
And I think there's 1 or 2 minutes of backup time in the schedule.
Okay. Hey, that's good.
That was a tough break.
Oh, well, I have to deactivate the train first before I leave.
Exactly.
Or the
Because
cab.
otherwise we can't activate the cab on the other side.
She's already waiting for the next train, I guess.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't stand there. That is
Well,
dangerous.
people frequently do.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Right, and the signal's already green, so we can continue for at least some meters. And the AI vehicle has just left from the platform opposite to us. That one will pass before, kind of ahead of us.
Yeah.
That's why the next signal is red. And after that train has passed, then we can continue. So just for your information, there's a red signal in approximately 150 meters. And we will stop here for, I think, 30 seconds or so. Oh, not even as long.
That was smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, we optimize the scenarios to avoid waiting times for the player, as long as you're roundabout on time. So the last time I tried a recording of this scenario with someone else, we were like 5 or 10 minutes behind schedule, and in that case, yeah, the AI services are actually prioritized higher. Oh, sorry, now 30 kilometers an hour. So
yeah.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. That was the first emergency brake, I would say.
Yeah. No, the thing is, if you pull the lever to the full back position, then you actually activate the emergency brake, and it takes a couple of seconds to release. That's why you couldn't release it even after moving the lever back into neutral position.
I mean, on the other hand, there's also the button here on the right side for the emergency brake, right?
Yeah, it is. But we don't want to use that if we don't have to. Right, so now we can continue with 20 kilometers an hour, and we're approaching the Saarlandstraße depot facility.
Yeah.
And as the task already states at the top left corner, we will stop in front of the train. So try to stop maybe exactly at the stop marker or 1 or 2 meters behind that one. And after that, we will run into the other train composition with about 4 kilometers an hour. So don't make it 10 kilometers an hour. That's important. And don't make it 0.5, because if you're too slow, then the trains can't couple properly.
I mean, I have to be honest, like, I tried this scenario before, of course, so I don't look like a complete newbie. And I have to say, like, this part, it's pretty it's pretty difficult, but I managed it. Well,
nice.
No, I kind of messed up.
No, it's okay. It's better to stop. Better safe than sorry.
All right.
Right, you can already continue. It's just the marker didn't recognize it. Maybe, yeah, we'll look into that. Yeah, but slower maybe. Yeah. Okay, I mean, that was it.
That was a little bit too harsh.
It was a bit bumpy, but it was okay. Yeah, actually, we're now ready to start with our coupled composition.
Yeah.
And as part of the scenario, we will be running as passenger service back to the station that we started in. So now we will also see how it is to play the game with passengers.
Yeah, I mean, one question about like the scenarios in general, if you haven't played them already or tested the beta, which I definitely recommend to try that out, even if you maybe last played SubwaySim like 1 year ago or so. Definitely try that out, because it's like a completely new game, and I messed up. What are the differences to the other scenarios?
Well, each of the scenarios has its individual background story. So you really have different things going on. And there's a wide array of things that can happen in scenarios, starting with planned construction sites, meaning there's a line closure in some part and you have to run on a section that you typically wouldn't run if the entire line is open. Or in other cases, you have a police intervention scenario where your train is diverted en route. So you kind of experience what it's like to run a train that you actually yourself don't really know where it's going to run to because the schedule has to be modified in time.
Yeah.
And there's even a strike scenario, so where most of the train drivers are striking and thus no trains are running, and you're one of the only 4 drivers who are at work that day. So there's a ton of passengers, and yeah, you got to handle that. So that's just some examples for the scenarios, but definitely try them out yourself because they really add a nice element of surprise and also some variation as compared to the other 2 game modes. Right, so we're now 2 minutes behind schedule, which is pretty much okay because there's another minute of backup time at the next stop. And I believe we might recover
I mean, I
to
feel
almost
bad.
punctuality.
I feel bad for leaving when people are still going.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna be delayed.
I guess. In which time frame? In which time frame trains, subway trains are driving? Like 7 minutes, right?
There's an interval of 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and we're actually now again between 2 scheduled services. So the last train was run 2 minutes ago, and the next one will run pretty much directly after us.
Okay.
Actually, if you look back in the exterior perspective, you might see it already. I'm not sure. I don't see it now. Yeah, maybe it is another minute of delay already or so. I don't know. But it's good. If you're delayed, then you are more likely to receive green signals all the time because you're not running into the train in front of you.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, that would be awful. And the good thing about subways in general is that if you miss the train, you don't have to wait for such a long time to get to the next train.
Careful, 40 and 50 meters.
Oh yeah, yeah. And now we have passengers, so we should drive a little bit more careful.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess they want to join in as well.
Wait, that was
That was too much?
a little bit too much. So frequently you wouldn't want to hear the brakes.
Okay. I mean, that's a sound I like.
Actually, you will hear it
Yeah.
because we're in the DT5.1 vehicle, and you always have the brake sound for this vehicle, but you shouldn't hear it when pulling back the lever.
Can you quickly explain to me what we just did here with the changing the number?
Sure. That's the so-called IBIS device, which is something like the integrated onboard information system. It controls the entire passenger information system, like what the train shows on its destination display, what it shows in the next stop displays on the inside, and so on.
Like
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
the Berliner Tor has just appeared as you entered the codes. And furthermore, it's also the train number or the service ID is used to communicate to dispatch, so that the control center and dispatching system actually knows where you want to run to.
Yeah.
And this code tells them where to set the switches to.
Yeah.
By the way, another detail that we've implemented with the game is those little green boards on the left side at the third rail. In the exterior. They're really small.
Oh, yeah.
There's one with a 9, it tells you that if you're a train composition with 9 coaches, then you may accelerate after that point. So you can actually accelerate to 60 kilometers an hour now.
Oh yeah. Right.
And it's a very important piece of information, in particular when you're running without user interface, what I mentioned earlier. So yeah, it's really one of the big improvements of if you prefer to play without user interface that were part of the mega update.
So you can kind of really become a train driver, right?
Yeah, you can.
That.
But you actually manage it without the emergency brake now, and only these last 1 or 2 seconds of braking, they are normal for the DT5.1 vehicle, so it actually does that automatically.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's working. Right, all those are closed, you can continue. And actually, that's a thing we can maybe show off at the next station too, is the driver information display on the right, or the human-machine interface display, because it really shows a lot of details about the train composition.
Oh yeah, now again with the, I can drive faster
Yeah,
than...
careful, 50.
Yeah.
So there's actually lots of signs that tell you how fast you may go at which point in time. But you really need to be careful, and you do need some knowledge in advance. So typically as a train driver, you wouldn't drive on a line for the first time and immediately with passengers, obviously. And you should start, yeah, perfect. Start braking, that's good.
Not an emergency brake?
Yeah, it's lovely.
This young lady over there, she has to walk a little bit, but that's fine.
And actually, as you see, those boards on the left-hand side at the third rail, those are again markers where you're supposed to stop.
Oh yeah.
With which train length. So the sign with 4 tells you if you have only 4 coaches, then you would stop there. And since we're made of 6 coaches, we'd prefer to stop at the little number 6. But we can try that in the next station. Oh, and I forgot to mention the DMI now. Never mind, we're gonna do that in the next station.
Yeah, but like the scenarios, that's another thing. Like if you have only played SubwaySim before the update, then it's definitely yeah, another reason to come back to this game, because the scenarios add a ton of new gameplay to the game.
Absolutely, and they're just kind of completely new now, so they have just been added with the update, and that makes them even more worthy to try.
Yeah. If I see correctly, there's the next station, right? So
exactly, and with 80 kilometers, you should already start braking now, because you should always have like 60 kilometers at the start, 60 kilometers an hour at the start of the platform. That's a rule of thumb. So I'd pull it back.
There was the emergency
brake. Wasn't. No, there was no emergency brake. That was just the regular brake for the last few seconds. That's all right. And at the right-hand side of the cab, you can now see or you could maybe show the DMI screen. That would be lovely.
Right side?
So in the interior.
Okay. Let me check the cameras. Which number was interior?
1.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Right.
And now on the right-hand side, you can see that 2 doors are still open. Those are the green ones.
Yeah.
When it's just closed. And now if you close the doors by pressing the T button on the other side, then you can see the doors being closed and the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's closed, and now we can continue. And obviously this display has a lot more features than just that, and it's actually also part. I'm not sure. Is it part of some scenarios? I'm not sure of that now. But it definitely is something you can try, and it has a lot of things you can do, and you can also modify, for example, the destination display at the top of the train.
Yeah, and I mean the game is really open for like beginners or for new people, but also like experts can find a lot of features, and they can really dive deep into this game.
Exactly, that's also our kind of our goal, because we want to provide gameplay more. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. A little bit too far, but that's okay.
Yeah, as long as you're at the platform, it's kind of fine. Yeah, no, we want to provide gameplay for anyone who's really keen on Hochbahn and the metro line in general, but we also don't want to make it too hard for beginners. And that's also why we added a lot of helpful remarks and this guidance that you can see, which really shows you where you need to press. And also earlier on when we had to log in into the IBIS device, it really makes it easier to play and also allows us to go through more complex scenarios, even if you're just playing it for the first time. But obviously, if you don't perform well, then it might also happen that you fail one or the other scenario. So you should still be careful and watch what happens.
I mean, no need to lie about it. I failed already a few times, so you have to get the hang of the whole thing, and obviously, like the weight of just one train is a different one than of two trains. So.
And actually, there's a difference if the that was a good one.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in whether your train is loaded with passengers or if you're running almost empty. So passengers really change your driving behavior and the physics.
And of course, we don't want to have any complaints to the headquarters that they didn't travel safe.
Right.
Nächster Halt, Berliner Tor. Übergang zur U2, U4, S1 und S21. Ausstieg links. Endhaltestelle, bitte alle aussteigen. This train terminates here. All change, please.
So what the lovely lady is announcing is that this is our terminus stop. So our train will be terminating here, and we will, I mean, that's not a thing she announced, but we will turn around and move backwards to the sidings where we started. Careful, 30.
Oh, yeah. It's getting pretty dark.
Yeah, it's a tunnel after all. And actually, metro vehicle does not really have headlight beams. So the lights at the front of the vehicle are not made for illuminating the entire tunnel. They're just made for being visible to other trains.
I mean, as you have already told in the dev interview, I mean, you can obviously still watch that because there's a ton of interesting information in this dev interview with Becker. You especially picked like the subway line from Hamburg because it's not only underground.
Yeah, and actually, as you maybe noticed, we're playing SubwaySim Hamburg, but most of the game was now overground.
Yeah.
But there's overground and underground parts of the line, of course.
I mean, we had a delay of like 2 minutes, I think, in the end.
Yeah,
like
it was okay. Let's see what the train behind us has. Okay, so the display already says that the train behind of us should be running any minute now. So yeah, we're maybe delaying it by 1 or 2 minutes, but that's kind of fine. Okay, and we're good to go. Okay, so yeah, we still need to wait until all passengers have exited, and then we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. All doors should be closed.
You need to pull it back to neutral.
Okay.
As always, when the doors have been opened, you need to pull it back to neutral, and then you can start after that. Yeah, and the next signal shows a yellow V. That means we can drive, but with only 20 kilometers an hour. Oh, and there's the next AI vehicle coming up on the other line. So
Oh yeah.
there's really lots of stuff happening here at Berliner Tor.
Yeah. I mean, you could see a lot, and with all the camera perspectives you can take in, like this one, and of course the fly cam in general. Oh no, I don't want to speak. Yeah, you can really like not only have a great experience while playing, but also you can make a lot of great screenshots, which I'm pretty sure that you, Max, are always happy to see, right?
Definitely, we've seen a lot of screenshots from the community already. Oh, lovely, those AI vehicles on the right.
Yeah.
Now we've seen a lot of screenshots, and we really appreciate that, and we're looking forward to seeing your screenshots as well. So feel free to share them anywhere, like on our Steam discussion channels, or preferably on our Discord server, where you will be informed about any news around the game anytime.
There you go. This button again. And
Yeah, so we're pretty much done. Last thing is you will receive a debriefing,
yeah.
which is also new. So we've implemented that in the update now. And you can see that you performed pretty good in terms of adhering to the speed limit. So
Yeah.
there's just some little spikes and maybe
Yeah.
one or two times where you haven't braked early enough. And you can see the delays, and you can see when the delays started adding up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually also see, we increased in delay. Okay. I had hoped we would reduce the delay by driving fast, but well.
I mean, we spent some time at the stations to look at some stuff, so yeah. But like, I think 3 minutes is still great compared to like the Deutsche Bahn. I mean,
That's true. Yeah, but 3 minutes is a lot of time for metros.
yeah, of course.
That's also why we're highlighting it in red.
Yeah, and I mean, you were my teacher. I mean, the most important question now is, am I allowed to drive the train any further, or would you say, well, maybe go back to the drawing board again?
No, I think you're doing good. So maybe there's one or two things you could keep in mind, but other than that, I'm good.
All right. All right. I guess, is there anything else you want to add, or?
Yeah, just anyone who get interested in the game, feel free to try out the public beta. We're also going into the public release of the update soon, so we will make it go out of beta rather soon. That will be later this or next week. And we're very much looking forward to your feedback.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing like I want to highlight. Of course, if you're a new player, just look at the Steam reviews, which are really positive. If you're an returning player, or if you played the game for hundreds of hours, feel free to leave a review. It not only helps like new players to decide if they want to play the game or not, but it also helps a lot HR Innoways, right?
Exactly.
All right. I would say that's it from my side. And thanks again for joining us. And I guess we will see you next time.